Okay, there we go. We're going to do numbers 10, 11, and 12. This is the heart of solving a system of equations by graphing. So this whole week we've been talking about, what really a system of equations is. Remember a system of equations? Yeah, what's up, Wyatt?
What are we trying to figure out on this? What are we trying to find?
That's what I'm going to go over right now. Great question, all right?
Okay.
When we solve a system of linear equations by graphing, what we are basically doing is graphing both lines one at a time. Everyone hold up a 1. We're going to graph each line one at a time, and then Wyatt, the answer to your question is that what we're trying to find is the coordinate point where they cross. Right? Does that make sense? So let's just say we have one line, pow, right there. We have another line, pow, right there. That coordinate point where they cross is our answer, right? And I'm hoping right now that it's just an explosion of understanding in your guys' teenage brains right now, right? Because that's exactly what we were working on. Remember? Like with the coordinate points and stuff? All right, so here we go. This is why the graphing and slope-intercept form was so important, right? That's why I spent a lot of time with each one at a time just a few minutes ago, because now what we're doing is just graphing two lines on the same coordinate plane, right? We can do this. Let's do this. All right. Y equals negative x plus 3. I don't even need to write that down or anything because I know my y-intercept is positive 3 and my slope is negative 1, right? Let's just graph this line. So positive 3, I'm going to graph it. Negative 1, that means I go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, because it's negative. It's negative, so down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. If I were to go, in reverse, following that same order, I'd be going this way. From left to right, it's still going down 1 over 1, and I just draw that line. Now, my goal when we graph the second line is that hopefully this crosses at one of those coordinate points, all right? Because then that's our answer. That's the solution. That's the solution to both of these lines. All right? So I'm going to highlight that. That's my first equation. Now I just graph the next one. What's my y-intercept of my second equation? Well, my y-intercept is positive 5. I want to get a different color here. Oh, shoot. I'll just do black right there. Positive 5 is right here. Okay. Now, my slope is positive 1. So I'm going up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. So let's do that. But I'm going away. I'm going away from my line. So what do? I just go in reverse. I just keep going back. Instead of up 1 over 1, I'm going to go to the backwards. Look at that. We have our intersection right there. So I'm going to highlight this line. Where do these two lines cross? At this coordinate point right there. Look at that. I'm using a whole bunch of different colors. Okay. Now, this is, once you've graphed it, the final answer is you guys have to tell me that coordinate point. All right. So start from the origin. This is, the x comma y. I'm going 1 to the left. So that's negative 1. How many am I going up? I'm going up 1, 2, 3. I'm going up 4. There is my answer. And guys, guess what? Give yourselves a little pat on the back. You have officially, with me, solved a system of equations by graphing. Any questions before I do 11 and 12 super fast? Because we're going to be running out of time.
Yes, I missed how you got the negative 1 for...
Oh, for the first equation. Okay, awesome. Great question. The question was, how did we get negative 1 in the first equation? Well, notice that there's no there's no number in front of the x, right? So always, 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 if you don't see a number in front of a variable, it's always a 1. All right, always a 1. And it's a negative 1 because we have that negative sign right there. So that's technically y equals negative 1x plus 3. All right, does that help? That's how we got the negative 1. All right, if we look at number 11, it looks confusing and hard, but like I'm going to call on Wyatt, what he said, I think this is going to be easy because I have fractions for my slope. It'll literally tell me where to go. All right, so for sake of time, let's do the first one. Let's graph the first one right here. Y equals 1/2 x plus 2. What is my y-intercept? My y-intercept is positive 2. So I'm going to draw a little point right there, or a big point. Now my slope is positive 1/2, so positive 1 over 2. So if rise over run, remember, if my rise is 1, my run is 2. Say that 10 times fast. Rise is 1, run is 2. Rise is 1, run is 2. Rise over run, 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Here we go. Up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. Now, it's a good idea to keep going in the opposite direction because our line might intersect over here. So if I go in reverse, I got to just follow that pattern. There we go. Our first line is right here. Now, my hope and my goal is that the second equation crosses at one of these points because then that's our answer. Let's do it. Y-intercept of 4. The graph, put a little dot right there. What's my slope? Okay, well, it's negative 1/2. So it's very similar to the first one, but it's negative. So that means we go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. We still go to the right, but we go down instead of up because it's negative. All right, so from that new point, down 1 over 2, look at that. We just found our solution. Down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. If I were to keep going in reverse, follow that pattern. Look at that, ladies and gents. If we graph this line, where do these two lines cross? Who am I going to call on? Angel Diaz, I'm going to call on you real quick to close us out. I graph my two lines. What is that coordinate point where they cross? Awesome job. You're right. Now, so Angel said, Angel, you're cutting out there a little bit. Sorry about that. Angel said up 3 over 2. But guys, just think. Alphabetical. Alphabetical. X comes before Y. So that X value always has to be listed first. The X value. So it's over 2, up 3. So if we list it as a coordinate point. And Angel, I knew you were going to get that anyway. You just said up 3 first. I just want to let you guys know it's always a good idea to just follow the X, Y. So X first and then the Y. We go 2, 3. And just like that, you have solved a system of equations by graphing.